Welcome to Offsides with Anthony and Jennifer, where we want to have a discussion here on tough topics where some people may think that we are going too far, too quick, too soon, with certain things that we will be having a dialogue about, where our goal with this is to just get people more engaged with critical thinking skills, not only with what we're hearing about from our youth, but we want to help them live in a more positive environment, not only just in culture, but in the hockey community, and just create a better world. So every week our goal is to come in with a question or a certain topic, and this week is going to be regarding hockey experiences. So Anthony's going to tell us a little bit about his hockey experience, and then also our goals with what we can do as a community and just ourselves with what we can have a better impact, a more positive impact for our youth through the hockey community. So how was your hockey experience?
Not good.
Not good?
Yeah, growing up in my hockey experience, I've experienced everything from violence to just mainly having it be focused on performance, which kind of took away my joy from the game at certain points. And, growing up as a child, I wasn't a violent kid at all. And being thrown into this sport where violence seems to be
glorified.
It just took away from me just enjoying the game, like I said. So.
Oh, that's right. It's a game. It's a game. Yes. We've definitely seen that. I always wondered why there was so much violence, and over the past 2 decades with being in the hockey community and helping the youth, I've definitely seen not only just the violence increase in the punishment with players in practice, and even in this past year, we've even had a player tell us that their coach would make them do push-ups even in a game on the bench. And so we know through our own experience that punishment, the reward and punishment system from other experts just doesn't work. It's one of the worst things ever created. And we know through Competitive Edge in our environment that we really focus on more love and connection. And Bell Hooks says that you can't love yourself or love others when it's not a loving environment. Mm-hmm. And so what we're seeing, not only through our own youth, but your experience, you said that you had a pretty traumatic experience with just coaches screaming at you, and you went from being bullied on a team to then you were the bully on a team.
Yeah, it's basically it's not everyone's there for each other either. Typically the worst kid on a team is ostracized most of the time, and when I was in middle school I was on a AAA team and was in that position of being one of the worst on the team, and was often made fun of for it because masculinity creates this kind of hierarchy, and because of that traumatic experience that I had, when I got onto a AA team where I was one of the best, I transferred that trauma to those other kids because I was just unleashing my own trauma onto other kids and basically reiterating what I experienced in middle school. So
I not only want to say sorry to you, but to any of the other players out there that have similar experiences, or the youth that may be watching this. I know we are doing our best to make a better environment. I just want to say I'm really sorry that there's such glorification of violence, and Anthony just said something key there in regards to masculinity. And we talked about this recently about how you're asking the players for hugs. Mm-hmm. And I stood back and seeing a new 10-year-old with us, kind of like looking at Anthony like he was an alien, because he was like, why is this older male asking for a hug? So we want to wrap it up here with, appreciating you sharing your experience, but what do we want different? What do we want different? Like with masculinity or like with hockey, what would we want it different?
Well, you just said like a key thing, and this is another thing that I would want different in the hockey community, is that the coaches, you have such a important role in making sure that this isn't happening, because in my experience, it was basically us kids just left in the locker room with no support or
no guidance, no mentoring.
Yeah.
Was there any talk from coaches about sexism or equality or pornography or?
Well, that's like, because going back to what I said earlier, it's just performance based. It's, you know,
win.
Yeah, only focusing on winning and X's and O's, and there was no talk about how to become a better human being or a better individual, and it's because these coaches aren't taking an honest look at themselves of what they would have wanted different.
So it's just continuing the cycle.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I know, again, that we are all about love and connection, and when there's domination, there can be no love, like Bell Hooks says, and in a domination culture where, like Anthony just said, in hierarchy, we actually, in our environment, don't even call ourselves coaches. And it's so much more freeing. And so we actually want to encourage that for any coaches out there. And if you don't understand what we're talking about, you know, feel free to reach out to us. But we actually tell our students that if we make a mistake, please, you know, help us out, that we're just human like they are. You know, we may have a little bit more experience, but if we design something and we forget something, that we want them to help us. And it's just about building relationships that way, as the shared power rather than power over. So again, just getting back to just more love and connection and healing our traumas. You know, if Anthony wasn't doing his work, his remarkable work as a male and a human being, he would continue down the path of causing more trauma. And so it's really important that we look at ourselves and hold each other accountable and just spread that love and connection. So we can't wait to continue this dialogue with everyone. Thank you for listening and tuning in, and we'll see you next time.